Good haircut. How we doing, everybody? Well, I don't have any opening, so go ahead. It's cool to not have it prepare an opening statement, huh?
What was it about the guys like Coach Debo and Justin Fry that just made you say that these guys needed to be on your staff?
Passion, teachers, communicators, energy, capacity, character. At the end of the day, coaching is about getting your players to play well and serving the players. And I think everybody that we onboarded will be able to do that.
Jonathan, as you're trying to figure out the speed of a player, what kind of a tool is that?
Just that, a tool, I like to look at the tape a little bit more. A little more. That tool for me is a little more weighted, but it's a tool. It's real.
How much pride do you take in developing coaches and already seeing some get new opportunities with this game?
I don't know if I develop them, Johnny. I think it's cool to see guys do a really good job for us and then get other opportunities and do something more. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of those guys, man. I'm happy for those guys. I'm proud of them. Obviously, I'm excited about the new guys, but everyone that kind of left for promotions and the bigger and better things going on with what they're doing, they'll do a hell of a job. There's no doubt.
JG, on that note, last week Clayton Adams, thank you so much for your involvement. What do you think he'll make of
He's really smart. He's detailed. He knows how to attack defenses. He can communicate to the players. He's passionate. He's going to turn over every stone, works hard. Has a really good way about him, and that was a tough piece to lose. I'm excited for Justin Fry, that is, but I was on a plane coming here with Clayton, and it was good to catch up with him. And I know he's already, the questions that he was asking me, he's already on the right path. So he'll do a phenomenal job.
What were those questions? What were those conversations like with Justin Fry during that hiring process? How impressed were you with the development that he had at Ohio State?
Very, very. I mean, not just at Ohio State. If you chart his career with where he's kind of been and where he's ascended to and the people that he's had, obviously there's a long process to acquiring coaches, a little different than acquiring players. But you gotta talk to a lot of people and you got to do your homework. And it was really cool talking to him a couple of years ago. And then when we had the chance that, because we had the job open, that we could acquire him and get him. And I'm really excited for him.
In terms of making hires out of college, do you think over the last 5 or 10 years, the lines have maybe become blurred a little bit with how the college game is becoming a little bit more professional? Is it easier to go into the college ranks and bring somebody in?
Honestly, like, good coaches are good coaches to me. The game might be a little bit different, but if I had access to some high school coaches, I'm sure they would fit us too. You know what I mean? So if you can coach, you can coach. I think that what's cool to see about Justin, though, is how much he talked about the development of the players, like what that looks like for him, and I'm really big on that. And you've seen over the course of his career, he's done that. So I'm excited for him to get him acclimated with kind of how we do things, and he's hit the ground running, and he brings a lot of energy into the building. I know that.
JG, with the defensive line, you brought in Bilal and Justin last year, and obviously they didn't get to play as much as you wanted. Do you feel like you have a good sense with how much they did play, with how they're going to fit going forward? Or?
Yeah, I do. I think that they can both serve multiple roles for us and help us win. So they're doing everything they can to get healthy, ready to go. But yeah, 100%. When we acquired those guys, I believed in them. I still believe in them now. Well, yeah, I mean, anytime you have like real-time experience with a player, you kind of know a little bit. Free agency is just like all players. There's a little bit of unknown with all those guys. That decreases the unknown with me because I was with them for a couple of years. So we'll look at all the players in free agency, see if they fit us. I know there's a money component to everything, but at the end of the day, we'll do what's best for us and try to acquire guys that are going to help us win. Trey? Yeah, I think he had a really good year. I think he hasn't hit his ceiling. You guys have heard me say that multiple times. He's working on different parts of his game. But I think just keep doing what he's doing and keep improving in all parts of his game, because he's not a one-trick pony. Like, he can block in the run game. He can beat you on first, second, third level, run after the catch. I think that's elite from him. But the mental part of the game, I think he can take strides, which we've talked about. The physical part of the game, I think he can take strides. He's young. You know what I mean? So he's got a lot of good ball in him left. So glad we have him. Obviously, he's a premier player for us. And I'm excited about moving forward with him.
It seems like a pretty deep edge class. What are your overall thoughts on it, and what specific traits do you look for whenever you're looking at it?
Deep edge class, you're right. You're right, Donnie. I haven't sorted through all of it, but we talked to some interesting guys last night. It's like, man, sign that guy up. Can you rush the passer? Can you whoop a guy in the run game? A little bit of drop, kind of the scheme that we play, But I think the first thing that you're looking for is, can this guy be disruptive in the passing game? And I think that's one of the things, taking the full 365 look at us. I think that's a way that we can improve our team, is to disrupt the quarterback a little bit better than we did this last year and 2 years ago even. So I think for our team and for our defense to take another step, we got to do a better job of that. And acquisition is one of the ways that you can help that. So I'm excited about getting to know these guys and watching the tape and having them in and all that and the whole process. It's really cool for me. This is my first interaction with these guys, so when they walk in, it's pretty cool, And that's the best thing about. I just told Pat and Jim, like, the best thing about the job is the players, So this is my first kind of interaction with these guys, and it's like, man, you start jotting down notes. It's like, boy, sign that guy up. So they're doing a good job. Yeah, he fits into that process, and he obviously has to get healthy first, but I really liked where his game was trending coming out of 2023. I liked where he was at in camp, and then obviously had the injury. So he looks good in there. He's in there every day. But I'm definitely have, I wouldn't say hopes. I have a high expectation for BJ to come in here and get back, and when he's healthy, when it's right for him, come back and help us win games.
Is this process going to be a lot different for you? Picking 16 instead of 3 or 4?
No. That's Monty's kind of sets the table with that, but I'm going to do whoever he says let's do our homework on, I'm going to do my homework on. So, and you never know how it's going to go. We could be picking, I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth, but you're picking 16 right now. It doesn't mean that's what we're going to be picking. Go ahead, Johnny.
Do you expect a big jump from some of these year 2 guys? Darius being able to build off where he left off, Marvin, somebody like Rabbit, Taylor Demerson having a bigger role here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's Monty and I we're kind of convicted on this, and not to say that players don't make jumps at different parts in their careers, but when you look at guys that really define their role and what type of player they are and how they can impact you as a team, year 1 to 2 is a big year. And that's why I'm very excited about our rookie class going from year 1 to year 2, because it's clear to us, and I think it's very clear to them. Okay, I just played however many snaps, or I just went through an NFL season. What the game really is up here, and then they're coming back. Thank God for us. They're going to be the second year in a system. I think continuity in a system of knowing what we're asking and just getting acclimated with how we're doing things. But to learning the game is huge, and I think those guys are going to make huge jumps.
Were you satisfied with the jump from previous year's rookie class?
I was. Yeah, I was. I mean, and each of them looks a little bit different. But a guy like Garrett Williams, Dante. I'm going to leave some guys out. Higgy Bear. There's a lot of guys that made big-time jumps. And again, there's more jumps for those guys to be had. But year 1 to year 2, a lot of those guys took the necessary step for them to keep improving and helping us win. Yeah, so he's got. I mean, why we drafted him to be a disruptive run and pass, a disruptive player against a run and pass, and he was never healthy this year. So, and that happens, that's a game of football. So everyone's availability is going to be a little bit different. But I like where D-Rob's at right now. I like where he's trending, And there's no doubt he's going to be an impact player for us, and he flashed that, and then he had the unfortunate setback of the injury and didn't get to play a lot this year. So, he might be, you'd say, well, he's going on year 2. Not in my mind. He hasn't played enough snaps, so this is really, 1.5 for him, But he's going to help us win. I know that. I bet he gave a better answer than I'm going to give you.
Obviously, the way the season ended in the second half was disappointing. Did that make clear to you what you needed to add to this roster to improve, or is there so much more to it than just improving personnel in that?
Yeah, a lot more to it, I think. And I look back at the year, and it's like, I think like you take everything. It's kind of 1 week at a time. Obviously, that's our process, and then you sit back and look back and kind of how the year went. Like, we have to be better to win more games collectively. I think that's the main thing that I got out of watching the tape all again. Start with myself, and then the coaching staff, and then the players, and there's a lot of tools and a lot of learning that you can use to do that collectively. So that's one of the parts of the process right now with what we're doing. Doing a hell of a job, I think with what he's done to coordinate a defense to give us chances to win games right now, I think it's pretty special, and I think he's going to make a jump from year 2 to year 3. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about what he's talking about right now, what he wants to change, what he wants to tweak. His growth mindset of how the game is changing right now. We'll probably look different next year. Not probably. We'll look different next year than we did this year. Just like we went from 24 to 25, but he's a superstar, man.
Coach, what are your expectations for Trey Benson this year?
Light it up. We have. I really see us, if he takes a necessary jump from year 1 to year 2, I think we got 2 starting backs. That's how I kind of view those guys. And you see certain teams out there that have like 2 1s, I would say. I think we should have 2 1s next year.
How do you size up the 49ers as you head into this?
Say it again.
How do you size up the 49ers as you head into this draft?
Really good team. Arguably one of the best coaches in the NFL. They got premier players all over the place. John Lynch knows what he's doing. They're going to acquire the right people, and they're going to be right in the hunt. So we got our work cut out for us. How do I feel about it? I mean, the human part to me feels great for him. You know what I mean? But the head coach in me is like, man, hope he doesn't get it. No, I don't think that. You, in my seat, you got to be ready to lose good people. That's what I would say. You know what I mean, Josh? And I think that's a big part of being a head coach. And I didn't go through it in 23, but I went through it this last offseason. And you got to have some competitive stamina to make sure you try to get it right. You know what I mean? But you got to have a plan in place. And I feel really good about the people in our building. I do. Yeah, I just told Pat and Jim he earned it. He earned it. It was good to see that. He deserves it because he puts in the work and he does a phenomenal job. Cream of the crop, head coach, Look at since he's been in Philly, the 4 years, what he's done. Kevin is very smart, very detailed, wears a lot of hats. I'm excited for him. Take the reins there and put his spin on it. I know he's a really good collab with Nick, I wasn't there, obviously, with Kellen, but he had a good collab with Shane. So he's going to light it up. He'll do well.
One thing you already touched on, like deep defensive line class. Obviously, with the Eagles, then you have the blitz, and they still were able to get 6 sacks. Your time there as well, there's the dominant defensive line. So now, as you look at that class, and you mentioned versatility, how many more guys do you really expect to potentially impact the games? And what excites you about a lot of those?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you never know how acquisition's going to go, but I mean, you can go to, my son's football game who's in 3rd grade. You can go to a local high school. You can look at the national championship and the college. You can look at the Super Bowl, and it's very clear. It starts with the offense and defensive line, and if you're that premier, it can end with the offense and defensive line too. So it's about blocking and tackling. So those two positions impact that before anybody does. So it's not hard to see when you watch football. The team that controls the line of scrimmage has a really good chance to win the game. So we'll look at trying to get both of those units better for us. A lot. Yeah, I mean, it's a quick process because I think it's like 18 minutes. But it's cool to see guys sit down and talk a little ball and talk about themselves and their journey. You can find out a lot about guys, just how they walk in the room, how they carry themselves, how they answer questions, how they interact with people. It's cool to see. They're doing a really good job. This class is doing a really good job.
Coach, a lot has been made about Kyler Murray consistency post-bye late in the year. What do you do as his head coach to help him with his consistency?
Yeah, I think a lot, how we set up practice, how we play the game. There's things that go into that. That's a really good question, Johnny. I don't think it's just the quarterback. It's the whole team. Myself, it's the whole team. But I'm really excited where he's at right now. I really am. And, I'm not going to make any power statements, but he's going to have a hell of a year. I know that.
Have you been able to watch any film on the multi-product games yet?
Yeah, Kenny brings it over to me, and he says, check this guy out. I'm not through that part of the evaluation process, but I know he lit it up this year. I know he's a really good dude with high football character that loves ball, so that'll be cool to watch him.
Hey, Coach, I'm just curious, back to Kyler for a second. Last year, he attempted a career low in terms of rushing attempts per game. Was that injury related? Was that game plan specific, just fluky? But given how good he is with his legs, I'm just curious about your thoughts about him going forward.
Yeah, I would say dual threat quarterback. We always got quarterback run game up. You know what I mean? Some games more than others. Some games more than others, he extends and runs. I like when he extends and throws it down the field over people's heads. But there's no doubt he has that element to his game. And when he uses it, if he uses it at the appropriate time, he can kill you. So I'm glad he's our quarterback.
We've seen a lot of guys that run well here in Indy, guys that play fast. How do you differentiate between the two? What are some ways for fans might be able to find some markers for guys who play fast?
Well, 40 is one of them, but I think ultimately to play fast, your brain has to work first, So when you watch the tape, you kind of start to unpack that logic. But it'll be cool to see these guys work out. That's a piece of the puzzle. Just like we said, it's a tool. But I'm excited to really get into the meat and potatoes of the tape with all these guys and evaluate the tape on them. That's the number one tool for me. So, but it'll be cool to watch them work out. Okay. Thank you, guys.